We're live, everybody. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Real Estate, hosted by yours truly. My name is Ray. There we go. Now we're live on Instagram too. We're broadcasting live on Clubhouse, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you all for joining. There's a lot of news to talk about today. Not a lot of drama, but just a lot of real estate news. Elizabeth Nightingale checking in from Charleston, South Carolina. What's up? Hillary Kirchhoff in Nashville. She's saying hi to Elizabeth, not me. So y'all are just talk amongst yourselves, everyone. Talk amongst yourselves. And there's Matt. What's up? Matt's also joining us on Clubhouse. You could join us on Clubhouse too. I created a bit.ly, a short link. So for those of you who are listening to this live or catching this live, or maybe you're catching it later, and you're like, how do I join that? Every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central, what is that? 11 o'clock Mountain, 10 o'clock Calietown. We broadcast live. And if you want to add your voice to the podcast, all you have to do is join Clubhouse and go to bit.ly/REN Clubhouse. bit.ly/REN Clubhouse. And you will find us broadcasting there. You have to sign up, fill out a bio, and then you can jump up and add your voice to the show. We can have real live discussions. And what's funny is some of the Clubhouse folks are becoming so popular that when I go to an event or somewhere, people ask me about them. They're like, hey, Ray, is Matt or Jack here? And they always say, I think that's so funny how y'all treat Scap. So
he's an appraiser.
He's an appraiser. It's so funny how y'all treat him.
The fact that I'm even mentioned at a realtor event shows the impact I have on everybody.
That's right. Shows the impact.
Whether it's good or bad, it shows the impact I have on the show.
You're unforgettable.
I think it's realtor, not realtor.
What's up, Hillary? Hillary said, we wait too long to find. Are you, the waving emoji took you too long to find? You gotta have your auto types turned on, Hillary. All right. We do have a lot of news to cover during the show, and I want to dive in. But before I do, there's a couple of things I want to announce. So one of them is the book club. We announced at the end of the week last week what our next book is. And it is going to be, oh man, I really should get on top of reprogramming the soundboard, because this would be a perfect drum roll moment. And I just there's no real drum roll that I have here. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't even have a good one. So, all right. Oh, well.
Congratulations.
All right, so that's okay. So the next book we're going to be doing is Atomic Habits. Dun dun dun. Oh wait, maybe I don't. No, I don't have that one either. Dun dun dun. I have this one. Atomic Habits. Totally unrelated. I'm excited about Atomic Habits. It's actually our second time that the book club is going to go through Atomic Habits. And if you're wondering, like, what in the world is this book club? It's called Real Agent Society. It's open to anyone. But it's usually real estate agents and real estate adjacent type of, occasionally we'll have a title agent or a lender in there, but mostly it's real estate agents. And we read business books about real estate, life, mindset, and we work to apply that stuff. So it's not like a book club where you're like, ooh, I really like how the author used the color symbolism and the black door but no, it's nothing like that. It's more so like, hey, the author says to do these things to change your life. What are your takeaways from it? And how are you using those things to change your life? And so some people call it like a little accountability group. But it's really wonderful. The reason why, well, there's two reasons why the book club exists. One, it is a little bit of a selfish endeavor, because I want to apply these incredible business books to my life. So I started the book club a couple of years ago. I found out there was one that already existed within Real, so we just kind of merged it. The second reason why it exists is because as I was telling people the books I wanted to read or wanted to go through, I would always hear the same thing. They would say, oh my gosh, I just love that book. And so I would ask the question, can you tell me like one of the big takeaways, or what's one of the major things you implemented from that book that's helped change your life or business? And they would say, yeah, that's a good question. I should go back and read it. As they say, no, we don't need to go back and read it. We need to go back and do it. So the book club is really geared to doing. If you're interested in that, I want you can either drop a comment wherever you're watching this, or you can go to Instagram, find me on Instagram, and use, wait, hang on. I need to turn on my do not disturb because I just noticed that I was receiving a call. I don't know if you can hear me over on Clubhouse, but okay. So go over to Instagram. It's Ray Zorback, RayZorback, and just send me a message, say it's book club, or hey, I want to join the book club, or what have you. And then I will add you to the book club list. I'll send you a link to fill out, and then you can join. We are going to start the first week for book club members is August 5th. And that'll be an introduction to the book, introduction to the group. And then there's some collaboration happening with Real Broker, because Real Broker is starting something for real agents only August 6th. It's called Real Work. And it's a 6-week coaching program just to get agents to really focus in on production, like helping people sell and buy houses. And in doing that, they are going to be focusing on atomic habits. It's kind of like one of the backbones or pillars of the content there. So we're going to have on the next week, August 12th, a lot of the folks from Real Broker joining in the book club as well. So it should be pretty fun. We should have a pretty solid group. About 1,000 people have signed up for Real Work. There are about 500 people that receive the book club emails. And then the number of people that usually show up to the first one is really good. There's, sometimes 100, sometimes 50 at the first introduction, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is the book. And everybody's really committed and excited. The second one, there's a few less. The third one, there's a few less. The fourth one, there's a few less. That's how it always happens. But I would love to have all of you who are listening to this join. It is free. The book club is open to anyone. You don't have to be at Real Broker. You could be at any brokerage. The Real Work program is only for Real Broker. That's going to be a second Thursday meeting. So if you're in Real Broker and want more information on that, you can also send me a message and I can send you the details. So there you go. That's a special announcement.
Ray?
Yeah. What's up, Jack?
Ray, who puts out your weekly email? Is that open to all? Because there's so much in it.
Yeah, I do. So
it's worth promoting is all I'm saying.
Thank you for mentioning that, Jack. So I do have a weekly email that goes out most Mondays. Sometimes if there's really not anything going on or I am on vacation, I'll miss it. But usually most Mondays we have an email that goes out that tells people the masterminds that are open to everyone. And recently, some of those masterminds are shifting in the summer. Some are taking off. So there's not been as many on it this summer, but just wait. There are a whole bunch more that are coming. So they are regular masterminds that are open to everyone. Like I said, it's all real estate focused. So if you're a real estate agent and you want those, you can also send me a email and just say mastermind email, and I'll get you added to that. Send me your email as well. But you can go to Ray Zorback, RayZorback over on Instagram and send me a message for that, and I can send it around too. So thanks for mentioning that, Jack. We're going to be adding some more stuff to that too. Just FYI. Hillary said, we need a drum roll, says the guy who told me I need to be on top of my game. Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right. That's fair. All right. I also have a sound effect I'm working on, but I can't figure out how to get it and if it's copywritten. But there's this old song by Perry Como. And it's the first time I ever heard it was, I believe it was on David Letterman, and it was like one of the old original mailbag songs that he had. So I wanted to use it. I could not find it anywhere, and I finally found it. And it's this song that he has. It's like, letters, we get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters. So I'm trying to figure out how to like remix it in so that I can get around whatever copyright stuff they have. But look for a future sound effect for the mailbag, because I'm going to start featuring some of these emails that I get. A lot of the audio listeners will send me an email and I'll respond to them via email, but I don't often remember or get the chance to talk about some of what they mention on air. And I feel like it's a little bit of a disservice because, most of the people don't watch live. Most of the people don't listen through Clubhouse Live. Most everyone that listens or enjoys this show does it via podcast. And I get a lot of messages that tell me like, I listen to you while I mow, or I listen to you while I clean the house, or while I cook or meal prep or whatever. So I appreciate you guys listening. And then when they send me a message or comment on something, it's usually late, so we don't go back around to it. So what I want to do is feature some of the emails that we're getting from folks whenever we get them. So this one's from Jody Steinberg. And she's an Atlanta agent. Actually, we have a lot of Atlanta folks around. So Matt's Atlanta, Scap's Atlanta. But she's an Atlanta listener. And she said, I often want to comment on what you're saying, but since I never listen while you're live, it's not an option. So she's got several comments. But the one thing I wanted to really bring to y'all's attention, she said, today at my broker meeting, we were told about a new program that we can put a listing on Z before it is live in the MLS. The broker is pushing it as a way to get exposure for a pocket listing, or with FMLS and GAMLS clear cooperation policy that's only a 24-hour window, but the opportunity is being promoted as a way to test the market, get pricing feedback, etc. Zillow knows that the property cannot be shown until it's live on the MLS, but their goal is to generate showing requests for Zillow Flex agents. As an incentive to the listing agents to put it on Zillow first, they're offering the listing agents 10% of the fee Zillow collects if their agent shows and sells the home. Of course, the listing agent needs to sign disclosures with the seller about possibly receiving a third-party compensation, and the chance of Zillow picking up a buyer who will buy that listing are small, but Zillow gets more buyers. Just FYI, Zillow is going at this lead gen through the brokers, probably the ones that have Zillow Flex teams. So there you go. We talked about this coming, but I haven't heard about it actually being in effect in markets. But it looks like Atlanta is a market where this is going to take place. Now, the Zillow Flex fee itself is like 40 to 45%, I believe. And so now they're offering 10% of that fee to a real estate agent who is a Zillow Flex agent that has a property they can advertise is coming soon. And then no matter who sells it, 10% of that fee. Well, I mean, how will they know if their agent sells and shows the home? This is the curious part. Okay. So let's say a lead comes in, you have 24 hours. Let's say a lead comes in from Zillow to an agent. I guess it goes to that Zillow Flex agent. I don't know. Let me read this again. Zillow knows that the property cannot be shown live on the MLS, but their goal is to generate a showing request for Zillow Flex agents. As an incentive to the listing agents to put it on Z first, they're offering listing agents 10% of the Zillow fee. So it's just any listing agent, not necessarily a Flex agent. Of course, the listing agent needs to sign disclosures. And so I guess Zillow is routing the lead of the coming soon listing to a Zillow Flex agent, because that's the only way that they can collect the referral, which is interesting. So basically, Jody, Zillow is saying, okay, listing agents, I know you have this property for sale. We want you to put it on our website and we'll generate a buyer on that. And instead of giving you the buyer, we're going to give that buyer to a Zillow Flex agent. But hey, you can get a 10% referral. Is it a 10% referral no matter where they buy, or is it a 10% referral if they show and sell that home? I guess if they show and sell that home. Yeah.
And first of all, let's go way back. How on earth, as me, as the listing agent, am I going to know that that buyer actually came through Zillow anyway? You know what I mean? Like, no, I mean, all my clients are on Zillow, but that doesn't mean that they're using it to find an agent.
Yeah.
So am I going to be responsible, or are they going to be able to track that? To your point, like, this sounds impossible.
It sounds like a mess.
10% of, 10% of 40% of what, 3%? If my seller's offering full, a full compensation as an example, like, I'm good. I think I'm good. Sounds like too much work, honestly.
Well, and also
that's
like
if it even happens.
10% of what fee, right? It says
Well, that's what I'm
10%
saying.
of
Like,
the
is
fee
it-
that Zillow collects, but that,
Yeah, so
where
is
does
that
that fee come
10%
from?
of the full? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if the referral is that Zillow is getting is paying out at 40%, am I getting 10% of the 40, or am I getting 10% of the other 60? Like,
It sounds like you're getting
it sounds-
10% of the buyer agent fee, which, okay,
Yeah.
what is the buyer agent fee? That's negotiated with the offer. So
Right.
now I have to disclose to my seller that I'm receiving a fee as a referral from the buying agent. This is a mess, man. It is not worth the 10% to even go through that, because the appearance of impropriety is huge.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, I think you said 35 or 40%. I've heard as high as 50% here in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
it wouldn't surprise me.
Is what Zillow has been offering for their flex agents or premier agents or whatever they're calling them now. I mean, I feel like they keep changing the name of the program so that they can change the structure.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Weird, huh? I mean, that puts both agents that puts the listing agent in a very awkward predicament. And what's the incentive for a real estate agent to put their property on Zillow during that 24-hour period if Zillow doesn't give them the lead that is generated? I mean,
yeah, and not to mention so if you go a week earlier onto Zillow than you would into the MLS,
yeah,
I mean, how much exposure is really going to be generated there? And the tracking, like, I'm sure they can track it because they can track everything and they have data for everything. But, like, do I really believe that Zillow is going to tell me, oh yeah, that new listing that you put on our site earlier generated this lead, which you're going to get 10% of the 40% of the 3%
yeah, yeah. I
think I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I agree. 10% of the fee. Oh, you know what? Oh, look at this. I just realized this. This is even a shittier deal. It's not. Wait, hang on. We need to figure this out. Is it 10% of the GCI, or is it 10% of the fee that Zillow collects? So in other words, if Zillow collects, and this may be what you were saying, Matt, I may just be too daft to get it. If Zillow collects 40%, are you actually getting 10% of the 40%, or are you getting 10% and Zillow's taking 30%?
Exactly. So if I'm offering 3%, if my seller is offering 3% compensation, Zillow's splitting that 60-40, right? And you as the agent are getting 60% because you're going to pay 40%.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So am I getting 10% of the 3%, or am I getting 10% of the 40%, or the 60? Like, this is way too much math for
it's
not
even
that much,
worse.
in my opinion.
That makes it even worse, because now it's even less than I was thinking. I was thinking like even 10% of the GCI is not worth it, but.
And you think my seller is going to go, yeah, let's put it on a week early on Zillow because it sounds like you're going to get paid more? Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's do that right away.
Okay. Well, they're trying hard, man. They're trying real hard. Remax, Real Broker's future sister company, is in the home preview program, Zillow preview program. So I'll shout out to my Remax brothers and sisters. If you're using this, let me know more. Old Serhant's in it. They have a KW Serhant. Remax, leading real estate companies of the world. HomeServices of America, Berkshire Hathaway, Side, United Real Estate, Engel and Volkers. Hey, EV is in it. Matt, You're in the
I feel
home.
like we're
You
always-
have the home preview option. Samson Properties, William Ravis, and then West USA Regal and Vanguard.
Hey, that's me.
You're Vanguard?
I'm Ravis.
Oh, well, you have access to the preview as well.
Outstanding.
Zillow preview.
Matt, we'll have to set a date to go look at it.
Yeah. Works for me.
Ooh.
Hillary said 10% of the nope, not doing it. Let's see, Jody. Thank you for the email. It's long. She commented on several things that she's just been wanting to comment, and it built up. I recommend listeners, just as soon as you want to comment, send that email. There's this long. She did tell me, like, I wish you would mention this. I wish you would mention that, which we do sometimes. I mean, it's hard to cover everything, but yes, we will talk about those things. All right. Well, thanks. That's Jody Steinberg, realtor in Hotlanta. All right, let's get to the news. Oh, no, I don't have it. Okay, here we are. Pending home sales slip amid stubbornly high housing cost and economic uncertainty. Dun, dun, dun. U.S. pending home sales fell 2.2% for the week over week during the 4 weeks ending July 12th. That's the first decline in a month. Some house hunters backed off due to stubbornly high costs. The weekly average mortgage rate rose back up to 6.49% after dipping to 6.43% the previous week. On the selling side, new listings fell 1.2% week over week to their lowest level since the start of the year. While there's still hundreds of thousands more sellers than buyers in the market, fresh listings are sliding because some homeowners are opting to stay put. Is that what's happening in your market? Are you seeing sellers take their homes off the market? We are starting to, which is ironic. It's ironic because of this next story. Home prices rose 0.3%. And this is kind of what the thumbnail covers. The thumbnail is a picture of me being confused, which most thumbnails are, a picture of me being confused. And in the little news box on the right side of the thumbnail is a home that's listed on the market, and there's tons and tons of price drops. It's got all these price drops. It says for sale, price reduced, huge price cut, another price drop, must sell, reduced again. And then an extra sign in the yard that says price reduced again, now $349.9, was $550. And there's a buyer looking at the for sale signs with a distressed look on his face and his pockets turned out. And that seems to be the state that we are in. Phenomenal opportunities for buyers that no one can afford. And it doesn't make sense why home prices are going up, does it? Well, if you've had your finger on the luxury market, whoa, I just said luxury market like a British guy. If you've had your finger on the luxury market, U.S. home prices grew 0.3%, but in reality, it's more than likely that luxury properties are still moving, while non-luxury homes are not. And so that's going to move your median and your averages up because you have more sales at a higher price. So just because you see home prices grow doesn't mean that prices are actually growing. It could mean that just more homes in the top of the market are selling versus homes in the bottom of the market. I know a lot of people have told me that it feels like a lot of the homes in the 300s, 400s, 500s, like in the middle range of your market, is sitting. And then you have a lot of homes in the upper end of the market where if it's priced well and it looks good, it's moving. And there's a lot of homes at the bottom part of the market aren't even being touched because the buyers can't get over the condition. So drop in the comments what y'all are experiencing.
The K-shape that we were talking about, right?
Yes, yeah, the K-shaped recovery, the K-shaped some color recovery. But yes, that is what we're seeing. And we've seen it a couple of other times before the COVIDs. This is what we were starting to see. And we may be just kind of returning to that moment in time. But drop in the comments what you're seeing in your market. Tell me what market you're in. If your username is something weird, drop your name so people can find you for referrals. And then tell me what's happening in your market. But this is the chart.
This is the thumbnail, right, that you used today?
The thumbnail that I used today had that on there. Let me see the.
So are we sure that's not the seller that's like, I don't have any equity because I bought this house 2 years ago?
Yeah, that is starting to happen too. I think we're going to see more short sales on our horizon actually because of that. So we
especially if there's relocation for job or family or what. I mean,
yeah.
I've talked with people in the last couple of months here that bought their house 2, 3, 4 years ago, paid a premium, paid over asking, we're competing, blah, blah, blah. And now they're like, hey, we got to go to South Carolina. We got to go to Florida. And it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
So that 5 to 10 year horizon we talked about, remember that?
Yeah.
In 2 years.
That's exactly what we were telling people too. When they bought at the top of the market, we would say, how long do you want to stay here? Like, oh, we're staying there 10, 15 years. I'm like, okay, well, what you pay is up to you then, but you have to stay. If you go early, you're going to be in pain. Like, no, we'll never leave early. And then they call us like, hey, I know we said we would never leave early. But yeah, there's the thumbnail for you, Matt. So you may be right. You may be right. That's the seller looking at their own sign as the equity comes pouring out of their home into the market. But it is still a weird situation in which it is one of the best buying markets that we've seen in a long time, and buyers can't even take advantage of it.
That looks like a neighborhood in Atlanta, and that looks like a seller in Atlanta.
It's an Atlanta seller for you. House hunters value clean air in their homes more than views and luxuries. I feel like this maybe was in California. I've specifically had a couple of homes sell that smelled terrible. I mean, it was like we had to get ozone in 3 houses recently. And so I'm wondering if this is like in a location in which everything's already acceptable for the most part. Now we're looking at clean air. But security system was 38% of people. 38% of people said a security system was top priority. I'm not seeing that at all. I've never had a seller or buyer say, hey, I want to buy a house, but it's got to have a security system. And supposedly Little Rock is like one of the worst places on earth. But that's because of how numbers are done per capita and such. And there's not many people that live in Little Rock. We all live on the outside. But anyway. Number 2 was clean home, high infiltration for air, water, etc. I get none of that in my market. They do not care.
I'm with you on all this stuff so far.
We do not care.
There you go. And on the
What was that, Matt?
the views are the one that is more appropriate. Now, a lot of you are thinking like, well, I don't really have anybody mention the views. Views, I think, come in a lot of ways. In our consultation for buyers, we ask, is there anything important about the view that you want us to consider? And most of the time, like, no, not really. And then we say, okay, well, what if you're on a double lane street? And they're like, oh yeah, we don't want that. So I think views are way more common than you think when you think of, I don't want to be on a busy street. I want to be in a cul-de-sac. I want to be in a neighborhood. I want to be, so views are important. Smart home technology and automation is 20%. That's the top 4, 3 of them can be added. That's wild to me. You can't really change much about the view.
Very inexpensively. Like wireless security systems are very prevalent now. And most of the companies will give you the equipment for free if you sign like a year or 2, agreement or whatever. So
true.
That to me is a non-starter. Like get the seller to pay for that.
So true. Well, number 5 is the backup power generator. Also can be added. And then layout for entertaining is 17%. Layout needs to be way up here. Like it needs to be layout and views, number 1 and number 2. That needs to be the biggest consideration. But what this might be telling us is that buyers in a lot of cities are looking in the same area. For instance, if I'm looking in one neighborhood, then views, not really that important because they're all going to have the same view. Layout, not as important because it's all going to have about the same layout. So what's most important? Things in the house. So it just may be where the survey was taken. They only did 1,000 respondents looking to move in the next 12 months. I'll be curious where those respondents live and how that impacted their answer. Also,
you said generators or backup power?
Yeah, backup power generation, solar or a generator.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it looks like in Arkansas, but at least in Atlanta, that's like a $10,000, $15,000 proposition. Now, if you're doing like a Tesla wall or something, it may be done cheaper, but I mean, it's not going to run the entire house necessarily. So that's not a small ticket item necessarily.
Right. Let's see. Then they have like covered outdoor patio, gated community, climate resilient updates, swimming pool, at home fitness, pet friendly, blah, blah, blah. Let's get down to the important stuff.
I think that
only 3% of people wanted to. Oh, wait, go ahead, Jack. I hear you.
Yeah, no, but I think the batteries and the generators with all these data centers and load on the grid, I think are a thing in the Northeast, anyways.
That's true. That's
Sure.
true.
I mean, in my area, we have a lot of overhead power lines. So, like, if you have a tree go down, the whole neighborhood goes down, which can be frustrating. But like, we've never in the 15 years we've been in our house, we've lost power for more than a day, like twice, I think, because normally it's up and running pretty quickly. Several of our neighbors do have whole home generators, but I think they could probably count on one or two hands how many times it's actually kicked on or they've needed it. But yeah, Jack, you're right. I guess like Texas, I don't know, if you've got underground power, I feel like it's pretty useless unless they're talking about putting that data center in your backyard, which I could see the benefit.
Yeah. And I have more people talking about solar and batteries, and
to
the point where I was talking to a couple of architects the other day, and in order to supply battery power or battery storage power enough for your house, it takes, and some people are doing this, buying a Tesla truck and having that battery storage if they need it. Pretty
interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting way to do it. Well, I think the bottom one should probably be elevated more. Only 3% wanted a whiskey room. Only 3% wanted a wine cellar. It's crazy that 3% out of 1,000 people are like whiskey room for sure. Proximity to golf courses, country clubs, tennis clubs is only 4%. That matched pickleball or tennis courts. I thought that was interesting. And then Northerners, only 5% wanted a heated driveway. So there you go. That's what people want. Crazy. Maybe those are some like keywords to stuff into your public remarks.
But what good is a whiskey room or a wine cellar if you don't have power? I guess.
Or money.
or money to stock it. Yeah. If you have a single bottle of whiskey, it's kind of pointless to keep it in its own room.
That's right. That's what the housewarming gifts are these days. Well, speaking of data centers, you guys led right into the next article. Most Americans say not in my backyard to AI data centers. Well, I don't think it makes a difference if it's an AI data center or if it's a Amazon shopping data center. They just don't want a data center. 53% of U.S. residents oppose building a data center in their area, while 34% support it. I guess the 34% of support are the people that are like, well, I mean, let's be honest. I'm not going to not use AI. And also those jobs would be great. U.S. residents are more likely to oppose data centers in their neighborhood than any other type of building. For instance, 39% oppose a new apartment complex nearby. How many would oppose like a 5G tower, though?
Those in favor of the chatbots that are voting.
That's right.
What about a landfill, though? Like, where does a landfill fill in?
Not considered a building.
I mean, yeah, I get it, but like, that's
Those are all
you
the
gotta have
places.
landfill.
Those are all the places that everybody said, no, don't put that development in. We don't want any more cars. We don't want any more traffic. So now they're going to put a data center there.
That's right.
There's always something worse.
I just think of like the worst buildings out there. Like what are the worst buildings? And just say that's how they should get these data centers passed. Is that the city council is like, hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and approve this strip club, and people are like, what? No, strip club, not in our backyard, no way. Like, fine, we'll make it a data center, and people are like, oh well, all right. That would be an interesting comparison. I wonder what other buildings do 53% of U.S. residents oppose? Most Americans are against data centers near their home. 53% strongly oppose or somewhat oppose. 34% strongly or somewhat support. And 13% have no opinion on the matter. So that's interesting. 4,000 residents took this Redfin survey. AI data centers are controversial largely because they strain electric and water resources and can push up energy costs, spark environmental concerns. The environmental concerns are getting real interesting. I don't know if people are just doing math different or if it is actual problems, but you have these reservoirs and stuff that have maybe changed maybe an inch. I mean, maybe. And people are like, oh, it's such a bad drought. When were we in a drought? I'm maybe talking about local news a little too much, but we're not really in a drought. There's a local lake here that they are drying up to do some work on the lake and dredge it and make it better and deeper. And it's had these tree stumps in the water for years. And if you didn't know where you were going to mess up your boat motor. So supposedly they're going to let it dry up, go through there, and then flood it again with water. And that's being used when people are like, Arkansas is in a drought, and we're not really, but the photo they're using is of a lake that they're drying up on purpose. It's kind of annoying. It's like, guys, what are we doing? But now, everyone that's talking about these data centers are taking pictures of the lake that they're drying up on purpose and saying, we already don't have enough water. And Arkansas is like one of the wettest areas in the world. We have so much rain all the time. I mean, it's not Seattle. We have beautiful days. It's way prettier than Seattle, but there's another article. Where is it? Hang on, let me find this. About the data centers. Maybe I missed it. We have that one. Most Americans don't want it in their backyard. Yeah, I may not. There were two articles on the same topic. Oh, I know where it is. Let me go back to my rundown.
Is there any reason we can't put it in some of these data centers and like some of these abandoned, I don't want to say abandoned, but mostly abandoned, like commercial developments? I mean,
so they don't have the infrastructure. I actually looked into this, Matt, because I had the same question. We talked a lot about those big commercial buildings that were being converted into things and if they would be converted into residential. And if you recall, like one of the problems to converting a big commercial building into residential was the plumbing. And it's a very similar issue on the data center. If they're not built from scratch, the retrofit they have to do to get the amount of water through there that they need to get through in order to cool the systems is, I mean, they may as well just buy or build a new. And that's what's happening. There are, and we talked about this on the show maybe a month ago, there are some micro data centers being put in people's houses where they'll just add like a little utility closet that's doing all the computing and everything. So there are some local solutions that people are testing to kind of decentralize the data center, but it still increases the amount of water usage. Which
a large data center can consume up to 3 to 5 million gallons of water per day.
Per day, yeah. Now, when it says consume, nuts. Define consume.
I gotta think that it takes it in and then it spits it back out, right? I mean, it doesn't evaporate it.
Yeah, you don't get rid of water. The same amount of water is here all the time on the planet.
It's just not as clean.
Well, maybe.
So there's open loop and there's closed loop. The open loop systems, let's see, this says it's used by 75 to 90% of the facilities use this method. They pull fresh water in from local lakes, rivers, and aquifers, sprays it over the coils to remove the server heat. Because the water turns to vapor, it's lost in the atmosphere. So it's lost forever into the atmosphere.
Well, again,
It's lost forever, Matt.
I'm just saying, it becomes
Don't you know
rain.
what happens to water in the atmosphere, Matt? Nothing. There's also a closed loop system. These sealed systems circulate liquid coolant through pipes, absorbing the heat and releasing it to the outside via heat exchangers without evaporating the fluid. Because the fluid is fully contained, it's reused continuously, eliminating daily water loss. So there's zero water evaporated, direct to chip cooling. So that seems to be a better method because you basically suck in the 300,000 gallons of water or million gallons of water, however much you need, and you just keep it in your closed loop system. But then, Matt, you have water missing. It's no longer in the system. So what's better? I don't know.
I mean, I think in England they're using them to power steam, like apartment building, like steam heaters and stuff, which to me makes the most sense. Like if you're going to pull it out of a pond or a lake somewhere, use it, and then put it right back into this water system. And now, instead of everyone having a water heater in their house, they're just getting hot water on demand.
Yeah.
I mean, at 3 million gallons you said a day, that's like, I think that's a small city.
That is
probably doable.
Yeah, the local data center that is being put in Arkansas uses as much water as one of the local cities here per day.
So now we just need another pipe next to the original pipe from the city that's hot water. That's all you got to do.
What could go wrong?
Get rid of all of our hot water heaters. No, it's fine, Jack. It's underground.
It's really,
Meanwhile, AI models are escaping their sandboxes, and we're all screwed anyway. So they'll control where they get their water. Thank you.
That's right. They'll tell you what to do with the water, and you will say yes, sir. It is interesting. Like there are some water-free ways to do it with air cooling and such, but I'm a conservative, right? So conservatives traditionally are very capitalist, pro, whatever, but a lot of us are very conservative and we want to conserve resources. We want to conserve things that we use. I mean, that's my nature, especially in Arkansas, which is a natural state. So while I am pro, hey, let's do things that are innovative in business and let's go. I am also pro, while we do that, let's be sure to take care of the earth. Now it's a juxtaposition for some, including some of my family, because they're like, how can you say that and not believe in global warming? Global warming is happening. I just don't believe it's man-caused to this point. But if you're taking 3 million gallons of water out of an ecosystem and force evaporating it, that's going to change the weather a little. I mean, I've never been one to believe that the government controls the weather, but this is the closest thing. And yes, I know they shoot rockets up into the sky to seed the clouds and make it rain. That has been going on for years. I was actually traveled to Thailand, and there was a farmer that was doing that on his own little property. So yes, that does happen. It is a thing, but that's not really controlling the weather. That's just forcing something to happen. But I feel like a lot more thought should be put into it, because if you're evaporating, 3 million gallons of water a day, why don't you do that in an area that, based on the weather pattern, needs the rain? I mean, in 3 million gallons of water, I mean, how much, that would be a good question. I'm showing my ignorance. I've never researched how many gallons of rain fall in a 15-minute 5-mile storm, right? A 5-mile storm, that's That's pretty good, right? A 5-mile wide, 15-minute storm can drop between 1.1 billion and 6.6 billion gallons of water. Okay, well, maybe 3 million is not going to make that much of a difference. I mean, as we look at it, guys, as we look at it, let's just do the research live. So I guess the main reason why people don't want it is the increase in water cost and the eyesore. So there is a town that has a big like black square at the end of their neighborhood, and it's the data center. I feel like they should have like put some thought into what this is going to look like, but their town is like their little neighborhood. There's this big black box at the end of the neighborhood that kind of towers over their neighborhood, and they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like they're being watched. But it's exactly what Terry said too. That was an area where the citizens kept fighting against anything that was coming there. And then finally they got the data center through. All right. So let's keep researching. We'll figure it out. I don't know enough about water usage. You know, I formed early opinions saying, I don't love it, but some experts I know that are kind of conservationist, and they're also pro data, they were talking to me about it and saying it's not really that big of a difference. I'm like, 3 million sounds like a lot. And they're like, it's not. Anyway, more Americans oppose AI data centers than a year ago. This is the similar article. It's just over on Inman. There was a quote: data centers remain the least wanted development type, Redfin tracks, ahead apartment complexes, 39% opposed, and mixed use developments at 32% opposed. So it's the least wanted development type is a data center. Okay, let's go to the next article. 2026 had the most buyer-friendly spring housing market since 2018. What? The Realtor.com just doubled its market clock tool to 100 metros and expanded the view that confirms that 2026 spring market was the most buyer-friendly market since 2018. The national reading still sits at 3 o'clock. Okay, just tell me the data. The full data set shows 70% of the top 100 metros favor buyers or are trending that way. Wow. That's wild. 3 years ago, almost every metro in the country favored sellers. Today, a quarter of them do. Jake Krimmel, senior economist at Realtor.com, said she expanded the data set. Says the expanded data set is what makes reading different from a single national number. Quote, a national number can only tell you so much. What the market clock shows is this quarter is a country moving towards buyers, but at a very different speed depending on where you live. Doubling our coverage to 100 metros lets us see the fragmentation based on buyer-friendly momentum in a way that a single hardline number never could. Where you work decides the pace. The South holds 18 of the 19 buyers markets. 2/3 of the Midwestern metros are still tilted towards sellers. Realtor.com named these among the 21 metros that loosened a full 2 hours over the past 2 hours. They're referring to their clock analogy thing, which I think is stupid. But anyway, Augusta, Georgia, Bakersfield, California, Charlotte, North Carolina, Cleveland, Ohio, Greenville, South Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee. There you are. Portland, Providence, Rhode Island, San Antonio, Texas, and Syracuse, New York. So, the best buyer's market we've had since 2018, and no buyer can afford it. It's kind of a weird place to be. But never fear. The answer, y'all want to know the answer? Cryptocurrency. That's right. Now it's time for me to get flagged by every social media out there.
That's great.
That's what's going to happen.
Now's the time to play a good Rolling Stones song, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
You got their attention.
Might as well. Fannie Mae brings cryptocurrency back-end mortgages to the public. So cryptocurrency, I said back end, it's backed. Cryptocurrency in the real estate sphere has been the cause celebre. It's cause of celebration since 2017, but it really never gained traction. Recently, crypto's moved past the novelty stage. The question is no longer, can I buy with Bitcoin? It's how do I use crypto to position, qualify for a mortgage without selling it? Because that triggers the tax event. That's the main reason. Enter Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae announced it would back crypto-assisted mortgages for the first time through a partnership between Better Home and Finance and Coinbase. The structure uses 2 loans bundled into a single monthly payment, a conforming Fannie Mae mortgage, and a second loan secured by crypto collateral. Borrowers can pledge Bitcoin or USD coin to fund a down payment without selling their crypto assets, which means they miss the capital gains tax that comes with selling their crypto position. The collateral requirements vary based on by asset, $250 in Bitcoin for every $100 borrowed, for $125 USDC for every $100 borrowed. Pledged crypto is held in custody by Coinbase with no margin calls triggered if prices fall. Well, that's one of my big questions on this. Is the margin, are they going to call it the margin if prices tank? Borrowers face liquidation risk only if they default on a monthly payment for 60 days. That's interesting. Fans argue the product allows younger generations to buy homes without selling appreciated digital assets they believe will continue to rise. I mean, it's similar to a stock. You have a stock portfolio and you want to take out a loan against a stock portfolio. It's very similar to that. Critics point to different kind of risks. The 250% over collateralization means a borrower could have $200,000 in crypto wiped out alongside their home over the same missed payment. Is it just one payment? I don't think it's one payment. Only if they default on monthly payments for 60 days. That's more than one payment. It's 2 payments at least. For now, the product is real. The jury's still out on who, how, and why the consumer will use it. So good question for your lenders out there to see if they take the Fannie Mae mortgage-backed cryptocurrency product. It sounds interesting. I don't see why not.
Because it's unsecured?
Well, it's secured by the money that's in the crypto wallet. Right? So they're seeing that as actual collateral.
Yeah.
Which is, that in itself is the big change, is they're seeing that as collateral. That alone makes a big difference in the crypto markets, because previously they were not seeing cryptocurrency as actual collateral. But it's also for the down payment. Did y'all notice that? It's not for the house. It's for the down payment. So let's say you have, you're buying a $300,000 house. You have $60,000 in crypto. You want to put 20% down, but you don't want to cash out of your crypto because you believe it's going to go up, and you also don't want to take the tax hit. So you borrow the $60,000 down payment. So you still have your original loan of $240,000 plus your $60,000 loan. So it's almost like 100% financing, except a portion of that financing is your down payment collateralized by what's in your wallet, crypto wallet. That doesn't sound to me too far-fetched. I mean, I think that's fine. I would be a little more adverse if it was for the whole house collateralized by the cryptocurrency. I think that is probably a step too far, but that won't surprise me if we get there in 20, 25 years.
Yeah, and you can do that with you can borrow from your retirement account for 90 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Similar
It's
situation.
not unlike that. Yeah. Yep.
It's just money sitting in an account. If you look at it like money sitting in an account, and the crypto part of it is just the verification of where the money is. Okay. That's not a big deal. It just does go up and down, not based on what you put in it, but on the value of the currency. So boomers were supposed to downsize, but they're buying bigger houses. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we've already talked about this article when the original story came out. I just wanted to bring it up again because I'm curious. It's got an anecdotal story in the Wall Street Journal, and Jack, I think, posted this on the contributor chat. So we are seeing this happen now through the anecdotes. It was supposed to happen with the silver wave, where all these boomers were selling their houses, and that's not exactly what's happening. A lot of boomers are actually keeping their house, renting it out, and buying a bigger house for their family. So boomers make up the largest share of home buyers in the U.S., an aspect of housing market that's out of reach for younger buyers, but well within the economic powers of an older generation that controls the bulk of the nation's wealth. Downsizers account for a slightly larger share of the older home buyers, but the upsizers are quickly gaining momentum. About 7% of the buyers ages 61 to 70 said the main reason they chose their new home was because they wanted more space. That's up from 4% in that age group in 2016. That's a big change. The practice is even more common among affluent people. This generation's considerable wealth is making upsizing possible. Baby boomers and those who are older hold around $110 trillion in total wealth, far more than younger Americans. Many bought homes and stocks decades ago and have benefited from the appreciation of those assets. There you go, guys. Homes and stocks. The historic retirement.
They have to buy bigger homes.
Say that
They
again.
have to buy bigger homes.
Oh,
They have to buy bigger homes because all their kids are moving back in.
yeah. Yeah, that's the big part of it. Because their kids can't afford to move anywhere else, so they're moving back in home.
I think if you look at the bigger picture, you've got all of this migration, and it has a lot to do with a lot of stuff that we've been talking about even today, of people migrating to more popular metros, and then that makes it more popular for the kids to want to come home, and if there are grandkids in tow, whether they come home or whether the grandparents are now buying a bigger house but closer to their kids.
Yeah.
And then you're right. I mean, this transfer of wealth, that's going to come someday when the boomers start dying. And I'm on the tail end of that. Is the transfer of wealth? It's going to be enormous, but probably over the next 10 to 20 years.
And it may be slower than that because of the advances in medical. This article says the upsized homes are often designed with family in mind, which is what you guys were saying. Sometimes the homeowners are accommodating adult children who still live with them or making room for their own elderly parents. Often they're building beautiful guest quarters for their family to visit. Yeah.
I think there's some part of this, though, that's like psychology, because I know my parents are kind of at the tail end of this as well. And their generation was a little more like, get the big house, get the cars, get the.
Yeah.
And I think our generation or the next generation has not been that way as much. I don't know. I think it could be just more sociological stuff.
I think that is a big part of it. That our
Are you
generation is
broadcasting
more
from the basement, Matt.
I have not lived with my parents since I was 18 years old. Thank you so much.
He's broadcasting from his Dungeons and Dragons room. No, I think a big part of it.
The Gathering.
I think a big part of it is that the younger folks see experiences as more valuable, and the older folks see a home base as more valuable. 1 in 4 sellers. So this is a problem with this whole scenario. Hang on, let me share this. 1 in 4 sellers in California is exposed to a hidden home equity tax. 1 in 4 California home sellers now records more than $500,000 in gains after selling their primary home. Now, this $500,000 gain thing is not a California tax. That is a federal thing. But 1 in 4 Californians are seeing this because the price of homes in California have increased astronomically. And because of that, more borrowers who are married or more sellers who are married are selling and then getting slapped with a $500,000 cap gain. For single fathers, the limit is 250. So we might be seeing some of the jump to a larger home. People taking their equity and going, ooh, I don't want to get hit with a tax. Let's just move that into a larger home. And then we can have Jim and Sally live with us. That could be something that a lot more people are considering, because I have had home buyers buy as a family where mom and dad are the ones that are on the loan. The kids are the ones who are picking it out. I say kids, they're 40 and 50. The kids are picking it out. Mom and dad are on the paperwork, and they're buying with a huge chunk of cash down. Mom and dad don't really care about the whole thing. They just look at their guest house, or they look at their, their cottage, or, the mother-in-law quarters. That's what they're mostly concerned about and wanting to participate with. And it's a way almost for them to start to pass down assets and also live with their family, getting their family a bigger, nicer house, better place to live. So it's just another way to provide for their family. I mean, if I'm super wealthy nearing the end of my life and I had the opportunity to get one of my kids to live with me, and I could just buy them a larger home and have myself a little cottage, would I do that? Yeah. Heck yeah, that'd be great. So I think
ADUs are taking off big time around here, and that could be sort of behind this story too.
Yeah. Putting mom and dad in the ADU, but mom and dad actually own the whole property.
It seems like my speaking and a few others, it seems like we're off. We're not in sync today.
We're not?
I feel like I'm talking over people. So I'm sorry if I'm doing that.
No, I can hear. To me, it sounds great. So hopefully the end product will be fine.
Okay. Good.
Speaking of tiny homes and ADUs, where's Christina Smallhorn? Prefab home startup Boxabl goes public after a $3.5 billion SPAC merger. So this is a house that is one of those tiny homes that are super affordable. Boxabl is a Las Vegas startup, manufactured prefab tiny homes, began trading on the NASDAQ Monday after completing a merger with a special purpose acquisition company that valued Boxabl at $3.5 billion. In a news release, Boxabl said that becoming publicly traded will give greater access to capital to expand production, further develop its factory-built housing system. The housing market is broken and nobody wants to fix it, Boxabl founder and CEO Paolo Taramini said in the announcement. So we built a factory, engineered the product, and now we have access to the public markets. I mean, that's a boss move if you're building your own factory to do these things. Under the merger agreement, FG Merger 2 issued 350 million shares to existing Boxabl share. I'm not going to go through the CNBC stuff, but yeah. Boxabl said it's raised more than $230 million from over 50,000 investors. The company has previously said that approximately 150,000 people are waiting for one of its homes. Wow. 160,000 orders it's collected, about 8,000 deposits. But have produced fewer than 400 homes. So what do these homes look like? I'm glad you asked. I went to their website. Okay, so that one's not a good example. That one looks like a prison so what it looks like is a little tiny square house with a door and a window in the front. There are 2 windows on the side. So picture a perfect square. And where the differentiation is with roof angle. So some roofs are angled, some are flat, some are angled like a half of an A-frame. Some have the traditional gabling, but the look is all the same. It's a door, a window beside the door, and a light. They are showing a version that has stucco on it with what looks to be like some, clay roof stuff. The prices start at $895 a month. I assume that's for the base level prison looking thing. But ADUs in the backyard, this is awesome. Little single room. I wonder, let's see inside. There are larger developments that they're advertising and larger versions of these homes. Some of these look like the small shotgun houses back in the 40s, 30s, 20s that they were built. It looks just like we call them shotgun houses because there were like, you go through one side, you could go through both sides of the house all the way. They have a couple of different looks. Okay, so this is the baby box that I'm showing right now on the screen. It looks like, if any of you have ever been to IKEA, you know how they have the tiny setup that has a bed and a couch and a TV and a tiny kitchen, and like they have these just mock setups to show you stuff. That's actually what the whole house looks like. The bed though, it is one room and the couch becomes your bed. So the couch unfolds to become the bed, but the couch is in the living room, which is also kind of doubles as the kitchen. This is incredibly small. The baby box is for $400 a month. Let's look at here's where they're showing them build it. I always think these is interesting. That's super small. Wow. That's not for military, workforce, homeless, and FEMA. These emergency houses are just four little, you couldn't even lay flat in that house. I don't know. How would you do anything in that house? It's just literally a shelter.
Ray, have you seen the FiOS commercial that has, it's a FiOS commercial for, like fast internet?
Oh, no, I haven't.
And it's hilarious. The realtor can hardly get the door open because that's where the couch is. And the kitchen's right across from the couch. There's maybe 2 feet distance away. So you're sleeping on the couch, you're cooking there, and then she opens the bottom cabinet door and pulls out the toilet.
Yes.
I love it.
That's good. No, I haven't seen that. I'll have to, let's see, FiOS, fiber internet. I'll see if I can find it. That's pretty funny. I think that is, I'm looking at this house as it kind of shows the exterior changes. There's something to be said for efficiency of buildings, right? Like for sure, these manufactured homes manufactured very quickly and the ability to customize, that's great. But I don't think you really solve the housing issue until you can like double or triple this size and make it what people kind of associate with a normal house. Then I think you solve a housing issue because you put so much downward pressure on starter home prices. But it's got to look and feel like a normal house. If it feels like a tiny, tiny room, like an office that you've converted into, it's not going to have the appeal other than some kind of, forced housing situation. So here's a 2-bedroom. Let's look at this one. Okay, so this is a 2-bedroom. It starts at $1,200 a month. Starting price is currently $200,000. Where's the inside? It's basically 2 or 3 of these units put together is what it looks like. 722 square feet. If you only buy one of them, it's $110,000. If you buy multiple units, you can get it for $200,000. Wait, what? Unit only. Oh, I see. So turnkey solution has a complete home unit, site survey, custom painting, engineer services, utility connections, foundation and professional installation, shipping and crane, final inspection, basic documentation, a year manufacturing warranty, 6-year extended warranty, professional packaging, waterproofing. So if you just get the unit only, you don't have the site surveying, custom planning, you don't have engineering services, you don't have utility connections. There's no shipping and crate services. There's no final inspection, no basic documentation. Really? They took out the basic documentation? Oh, no. There it is. They do have basic documentation. Okay. I was about to say, whoa, you still get the warranties. They still pack and ship it to you, but you're responsible for shipping $8 to $15 a mile. So you save $90,000 by not getting all the other stuff. So for $200,000 in most markets, can you buy something? What does a $200,000 house buy you in your market?
A rehab.
The one that
Something
has
that
to be rehabbed?
Yep. So if you get those, does it have the drywall and the flooring and everything already in it, or do you have to do the insulating and the drywalling and the flooring and the cabinets and all of that stuff once you get it? So they're giving you a shell?
A shell. That part is not super clear, to be frank. I can't see inside the 2-bedroom. Oh, there it is. Okay. So the 2-bedroom, so that's nice. So the 2-bedroom has a living room separate. So theoretically, you could have 3 beds if you folded out the living room couch. Yeah, it's not bad. It's got a little closet space. Dimensions are 19 feet by 38 feet. Wow. I mean, they are small, but it's 2-bedroom. I think is fine. 2-bedroom is doable, I think, for a lot of people. So, but there you go. There's Boxabl. We've featured Block before on the show. That's the one I really like. It's the modular home build. Let me go 210. Show you what you can get here with this. And let's go with Little Rock. I don't even know if there's anything on the market. Oh, yeah, there is. Actually, there's a couple of pretty nice homes on the market for $200,000. So this is what you can get in Arkansas for $200,000. 1,390 square feet, $299,000, which is that 210 kind of price range. And it's been remodeled. It's still got Formica countertops, but it's had a light refinish. It's winterized. So there you go. On the market 7 days, it says. That's not bad. So, I mean, it's going to depend on the market. In Arkansas, there's this one's $204,000. It's already under contract. It's not terrible. Maybe the inside is. Oh, yeah, the inside is. Yeah, the inside needs to be rehabbed for sure. And here's a $210,000 just dropped price. This is actually in a pretty good area, too. So in our market, these probably aren't going to take off because you could just get a normal home. But I think in California, they have the real opportunity to blast off. I need to get back to the articles here. Okay, there they are. Okay, let's talk a little bit about industry. T. J. Papasan to step back from Keller Williams after 26 years. The long-term vice president of strategic content. Sorry. Let me turn back on my. Okay, there we are. Sorry about that. The long-term vice president of strategic content is stepping away from daily duties August 1st. Keller Williams had 27 employees when Jay Papasan started. Now sits more of 100. Now sits more than 1,100 offices and 188,000 agents nationwide. Papasan wrote that he will keep working on KW book projects and teach across the country and support his wife Wendy's Austin's team. Papasan Properties Group. He also plans to continue hosting the One Thing podcast. So he's still doing a lot as it relates. Papasan, I like Papasan helped write the Red Book that's so popular, Flip, Hold, Shift. He's kind of the brains behind that stuff. So, but he is stepping away. Some interesting leadership shifts over at KW right now. Also wanted to cover this article that just came out. HomeServices of America tells its agents to stop waiting for a rate that isn't coming. So they did their 2026 mid-year outlook, and they really want to get the cost of waiting message out there. The company released its mid-year housing outlook on Wednesday as a look at the year and said it would provide stability to the housing market. While elevated mortgage rates continue to suppress traction volume, we believe these are cyclical headwinds rather than structural weakness, positioning the industry for a healthy return to normalized sales activity as the economic conditions improve, said Chris Kelly, HomeServices of America CEO. Meanwhile, the report continues to encourage sellers to be realistic about pricing expectations. That is 100% the discussion that we're having right now on our team, as we've noticed what's happening to properties out there. The pricing expectations are ridiculous. And there are agents all over the place right now telling their clients that, oh, I could sell it for you for that. And they just cannot. And that will come back to bite them. So be honest, be telling people the right stuff. All right. And the last bit I wanted to cover is some AI. You guys know that I lead an AI mastermind the first Tuesday of the month. And one of the things that we've talked about in the past is making sure that your website was visible to AI bots. Broke Agent Media put out this article. It's a good one. Your website might be invisible to AI. Here's how to check. It's a real simple check that I hadn't heard anyone else cover until this article. But you put your domain name. So for instance, the domain name I have is pixelproperties.com. And then you put /robots.txt. So here it is, robots.txt. So put your website.com /robots.txt. What does that look like? It looks something like this. So you may have a lot written. You may have not much written. It depends on your web host. Currently, one of our main sites is hosted by Curator, and there was this thing has been changed. So I'll go over this. It says disallow and tells it what to disallow, this is not a bad thing to disallow. It's fine. And then it says sitemap. It tells the AI where the sitemap is, so how to get around my website. And then the content signal, it says AI train equals no, search equals yes, AI input equals no. So search means if somebody is using search or Google or SEO to search, then you're going to appear. You'll be there. It's allowing the AI bots to crawl this for search. AI input means that if somebody is having a chat with their AI bot, there's a chance that your website is not going to get picked up if yours says AI input no. And a lot of them say AI input no. So you need to contact your host and ask them to make this say yes. You probably don't want to train AI on your content if your content is important to you. So you'll keep that as no. But your AI input, like if somebody's having a conversation with Claude about selling their house, I want them to be looking at my website during that conversation. And so I want this to say yes. So it's just a text file. It's super easy to change. Your host can change it, or you can actually go to your own domain and change it if you wanted to. But that was the biggest takeaway from this article. Just one thing I wanted to point out. Make sure your website is visible to the AI bots. Go to yourdomain.com /robots.txt, see what it says. And if you're curious, like, oh, I'm not sure what this says, you will not, if it's a no, you will not be able to take this site, this page, and put it into your AI and say, okay, go to this link and tell me what you think. You actually have to copy paste the text that's on your screen and then say, hey, this is in my robots.txt file. What should be changed? If you have a bunch of stuff in there, I've analyzed a couple of different sites and stuff we use, and one of them had a whole bunch of instructions in there. And I had to analyze all the instructions and make recommendations that would allow our site to be read and seen by more people, and us sourced or referenced. So do that. Copy paste it into your AI. Make sure that your website can be seen. All right, guys, that's all I got this week. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. I do have some new stuff coming, so hang in there with me. We've got this new layout. We've got the background done. We've got I've improved or changed. I think I've improved, but I have changed the thumbnails. So these are our new thumbnails. Will it either be something like that or something like this one right here? I'm liking it. I love your feedback on it. If you're an audio listener, send me an email. My email is ray@pixelproperties.com, or you can send me a message over on Instagram. That's Ray Zorback, RayZorback. And let me know what you think. We're going to start a little mailbag type segment of the show so I can read more of your stuff on the air. All right, guys, thanks for joining. Oh my gosh, there's so many comments over there in the YouTube. Hang on. I totally missed your comments because it wasn't showing, and I just had 13 comments flood in right at the end of the show. Let me see. Okay, hang on. Wow. You guys were having a whole conversation, and for whatever reason, StreamYard did not notify me of this. See, Elizabeth was dropping in the comments what I asked her to about I was wondering why you guys were so quiet, and then Charleston still has some luxury properties in the market, desired location selling fast, but the inventory around the region is pre-COVID market numbers. Yep, same. The market is a bit like molasses. Nashville market, Hillary Kerchief says, lots of unintended landlord or buyers getting amazing deals. Mine closed yesterday on a house $150K under list. Whoa. But if it's a cutie pie, it's still going the first day. Yep, same here. And let's see, I'm skipping over some of these. Wow, you guys have been commenting so long. I apologize for missing it, but I just did not see it. Elizabeth said that's a tough shed, talking about yep. Packet Watchdog. Packet Watchdog says, yeah, data centers are, once they're built, only provide a dozen or two white collar jobs. There's a ton that goes into building them for years. So I think that's a gross underestimation of what they're actually providing. Packet Watchdog says, hello, of course, Arkansas. I was going to say nothing over 1,000 square feet single family here in Arizona at that price point. Yeah. It's just going to depend on the market. I think those are going to really take off in some places, but in other places, they're just not going to work because you can actually get an actual real house. So, okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry I didn't get to those comments, but glad we got them there at the end. But I will see y'all next week. Bye.